YouTubers out there. This is Jerry the Movies with your host, Jerry Saravia. And today we're going to discuss Saravia. So I've been a little busy lately and I do review a lot of films on my site, but sometimes I don't know what it is I should or should not be discussing on YouTube. Because believe me, if I were to review every single film that I review in written form for my site on YouTube, I would have really no time to do anything else. And so I will review, of course, certain films that stick out, that matter to me, or that I have something to say that perhaps can be set apart from what everyone else is saying. And I also like to, on occasion, if not more frequently than I normally have been doing, at least on YouTube, is discuss new independent filmmakers out there who don't get much limelight or much of a focus. So today will be a film that is actually playing on YouTube, the entire film, called Local Legends. This is an hour and 14-minute film from a director that I do admire, who's normally a writer and works with a different director named Charles Roxburgh. But the writer is Matt Farley, and he wrote and directed this film, which will be really his first time, I imagine, actually directing and writing his own film. And it's an autobiographical film about him as an independent film director, a songwriter, stand-up comedian, and anyway. Now, I've seen a lot of films about low-budget films, about the making of low-budget films, right? So, I mean, there have been so many. 1994 had a film that has been largely forgotten called My Life's in Turnaround. And that was the type of film that I remember a friend of mine saying, it just inspires you to make a movie. So, you know, what else can you do there? I mean, that's really the whole point. It really does inspire you. And then there's a film that's a little bit better known with Steve Buscemi called Living in Oblivion, which came out in 1995, which is a very funny movie, also about making a low-budget film. So My Life's in Turnaround, by the way, starred Martha Plimpton and John Sayles, who's a screenwriter and director, and Phoebe Cates. So definitely worth checking out if you can find it. I don't even know if, it seems nowadays a lot of films are actually entire films are on YouTube, so you may be able to find that one on there. I haven't looked for it, but anyhow. And then there's 1992's Mistress, which doesn't necessarily deal with low-budget films, but at the very least with what it's like to be a screenwriter behind the scenes, trying to make a film, the difficulty of that. Now, Local Legends, again, this is a guy from Manchester, New Hampshire, Matt Farley, and it's a film about him. It's a joke within a joke comedy about the making of a low-budget film as we are watching it. I mean, you can't get more postmodernist than that, with the director serving as a narrator about what works and what doesn't work as we're watching it. So it's literally the box within the box within the box. I mean, because he's also discussing, it's almost like having, for example, a commentary track on a movie, except that in this case, it's the actual narration of the movie. And as I said, Matt Farley plays himself, director, songwriter, stand-up comedian in Manchester, New Hampshire. And he works long shifts at an elderly retirement home. And he describes how the shot of himself in bed, awakened by an elderly man needing his diaper changed, was shot in someone's basement. And he attracts the attention of a female fan named Abby, played by Sharon Scalzo, an actress who I will hope will have a bigger lead role in a future Matt Farley film, and she's appeared in most of them. And she's hoping for a relationship with this guy beyond being hired by Matt as a basketball statistician. You heard me right. And she also claims to be a Billy Joel fan, but she only owns his greatest hits CDs. But she says this just to get him to come to her house, and as an excuse, of course. So anyway, Local Legends is sort of an amalgam of fiction and documentary, with Matt Farley providing sharp wit in his commentary on what we see. And he imagines himself, actually at one point, as a producer with slick back hair, who argues with Matt about the artistic integrity Matt's artistic integrity. Because what happens is Matt sells songs on iTunes, and they sell for about $2 each a year. So he comes up with this bright idea that instead of just having 10 or 20 songs, maybe you should do 10,000. And in fact, you can actually call the real Matt Farley, because his phone number's on all of the DVDs of his movies. And if you call him, he'll write a song about you. I mean, I don't know of any other independent filmmaker that does this. And believe me, I've interviewed many and seen many films by other independent filmmakers, but this one is unique. And there are people that criticize Matt's own films. So he kind of is self-critical himself. And that includes Abby, who criticizes his films like Freaky Farley, and then there is the family who tells, Matt's own family, who tells him he should elevate his filmmaking habits, make a career out of it by submitting his work to a film festival, as if Matt didn't think of doing this himself. Now, Local Legends is by Matt Farley, and most of the titles you probably will never have heard of, but you can find them and purchase them on Amazon. This is one film that's available for free, so if you like what you see here, you might like some of his other ones. Freaky Farley is a film he did back in 2007 with a director and co-writer, Charles Roxburgh. He also did Monsters, Marriage, and Manch Vegas. Monsters, Marriage, and Mayhem in Manch Vegas. What a title. In addition to this one, and I have all his films, or at least some of the main ones, Don't Let the River Beast Get You. This is a delightful little offbeat kind of sly wink at the monster horror genre. So if you like that sort of thing, it's very upbeat. It's not scary. These are not scary movies. Freaky Farley probably is the darkest film from him that I've seen, and they are working on a sequel to that one. But it's great fun to watch this film because these are real unglamorous people engaged by small-town troubles such as fractured relationships, making movies with local people and trying to stage live shows, in some cases in a basement. It's a small-town feel, and that's what I love about his films. He really exudes that. And the character Matt learns to take it easy, to let go of any undue pressure on himself, meaning maybe he shouldn't have to do so many damn songs every single day. And he has a bunch of different bands, but that's a whole nother story. And be free. And his life is not glamorous, but as he says, but it's not stressful. All he needs to make his day is a coffee milk, which apparently is his favorite drink, walk for 8 miles, and accept fan requests for new songs. And there's also a pretty blonde he has got his eye on, played by Matt's actual wife, Elizabeth M. Peterson, who's now Elizabeth Farley. But that's what I love about these pictures. There's that innocence to them. And Local Legends is definitely one of the best low-budget films about the making of low-budget films, because it's just an original treat, and I would definitely say check it out. It's all shot on HD, but it's in black and white, so it really looks like film. So check it out. It's on YouTube. I'll try and provide a link. And yeah, that's it. So, as for myself, as far as reviewing movies, I'll probably review a couple of more before the end of this year, but I'm not sure. But I'll spend a little more time as of next year reviewing films, and try to do it on a more consistent basis as far as YouTube. But you can always check out my site where there are hundreds and hundreds of reviews, and I can't cover all of them on YouTube. It would be too much. So, and this is Jerry the Movies with your host Jerry Saravia, signing off.